One word. Now, this first clip actually has some words that were my one words throughout the past few years that I've used it. And like I said, it's been life changing for me using one word. It's really just an amazing tool that helps us grow. Because if we're not growing, we're just we're not growing, and it's either we're growing or we're slowly dying. So we gotta really aim ahead of where we are to even be just to be just stable, where to be stable. We can't aim right there. We've got to aim higher, for more, for bigger. You have to, because if you aim right here, you end up down here. All right, so how many folks have made New Year's resolutions and kept them? Any resolution, doesn't have to be a New Year's. I know I probably once or twice in my life, honestly. I've never been a fan of New Year's resolutions, knowing that most people don't keep them, and it was just not something I really wanted to do, and just never. I mean, some folks are great at it, not me. But, and yes, change can be challenging. The thing is, when I found out about one word, the first time I did it, I was just kind of like, all right, I'll try it. And it really wasn't until maybe the 9th or 10th month of that year that I was working with my one word that I really went, oh my goodness, I can see the change that came from that. So it's something you have to stick with. But what I like about it is it's not cumbersome. It's not this big heavy thing that's this long process that you have to do every day. You don't. The important thing is to keep that one word in front of you. And I'll explain later on in our workshop what I do to keep my one word in front of me all the time. All right, so change can be challenging. Yes, I agree. And the reason that change is challenging is because our brains are great at forming habits. It's why we don't have to consciously think every time we go to brush our teeth or put clothes on, or, if you've been driving for a while to drive, you can just get in the car and go. You don't have to be like, all right, clutch, foot on brake, and you don't do it because it becomes a habit for our brains. And one habit, especially us women create, is doing life. The kids, the family, the job, the church, the whatever it is that we do. We get so good at doing, and we do, and we do, and we do. And in the midst of all the doing, we lose touch with our beingness. And you may learn that I really love the word being because, well, that's another class. So let's stay focused. Let me stay focused. We lose touch with that. And beingness is the core of who we are. It's who we are at our center. When you see someone and they're very confident, and I don't mean, like snobbish, but I mean confident, like I have nothing to hold back. I have nothing to hide. They are in touch with who they are being at their core. They're in touch with that. Now, apart from losing our beingness from just doing and doing and doing, even worse, we lose our health. We lose our ability to just have a functioning life as a person. When we're not healthy, we have nothing. I don't know about you guys, but I've been there, and the final exams had to wait, the job had to wait, the housework, everything else had to wait because I could not do it. I just didn't have it. I could not do it. So when we ignore taking care of ourselves, we lose that really, really important thing called our health. Now, we know how to do doing, right? We know how to do because it's what we do. We take care of everything. We're super women. We do it. It's the being part we have to get better at. And we must create, must create space for us to do that, for us to just be, to get in touch with ourselves and with our source of power. We need that space to do that. So In the space of being, here's what can happen. We pay better attention to whether we are living in a good state or in a not so good state. We can tune into what's working in our lives and our situations and what's not working for us. When we can tune into our state, whether we're in a good state or not, in a good state, we're happy, we're joyful, we're focused, we're not stressed, we're not worried about things. And even if things are going crazy, we feel centered. We're like, okay, you know what? This is going to work out. I'm optimistic. When we're not in a good state, we're overly concerned. Our hair is falling out because we're stressing so much. We're eating everything in sight because we're grazing because we just need something to fill this bad space. What we're going to do first, the first section of this workshop is called Look In. And there's 3 different parts. I'm going to walk you through them as much as possible. The first one we're going to do, for the most part, in its entirety. The second part, I'm going to explain it. And the third part, which is it's like the shortest part, but it's where all the hard work is. That part, we will stay in touch in our Facebook group and work on throughout the year. All right, so the first thing is to get in touch with this source, your source of power, your higher being, your God, your whatever it is. It's called Look In. So we look inward. We find some space, which is what I'm going to help you create right now, to quiet the mind and really listen to what's in our heart mind in here. All right, so we're gonna start with that. We're going to, let's get to our share page. Nope, not the email, the share page. Screen share, okay. All right, so we're gonna have a 5-minute guided meditation. And with that meditation, what I'm going to walk you through, and there's really nothing you can do or have to do except sit in a place where you are supported by whatever you're sitting in so that you don't have to hold yourself up. I want you to relax, and I am going to relax, and we're going to do this together. Okay, so here is our screen. Okay, there we go. All right, so the first thing you're gonna do is sit upright. And if your feet can touch the floor, make sure your feet are flat on the floor, no crossed legs, no crossed arms. Sit upright and allow yourself to be supported by your chair. Allow yourself to be supported by your chair, and then take a nice long exhale. You can sit your arms flat on your lap and let your fingers and your toes relax. You don't have to hold on to anything right now. Just let your fingers and your toes relax. Slightly separate your teeth and let your tongue relax on the floor of your mouth. Now we're going to take 3 big breaths, but on each inhale, or each exhale, I want you to purse your lips and make it slightly forced so that you hear the air as it's coming out, like this. So let's go, 3 nice big inhale breath. And exhale. Keeping your tongue relaxed on the floor of your mouth. And 2 nice big inhale. And exhale. And 1 nice big inhale with your tongue relaxed on the floor of your mouth. And exhale. You close your eyes and keep your tongue relaxed on the floor of your mouth. So now I want you to imagine that you are in bed. You're in your favorite PJs, your bed is nice and cozy, got your favorite blanket, and you feel so relaxed. And you easily drift off to a nice, deep sleep. Your body is so happy for that rest. You have sweet dreams, and you wake up before your alarm clock even goes off. You feel refreshed, you feel relaxed, and you're excited because today is different than any other day. Today, you get to do whatever it is that you want to do. You don't have to show up for work. While you love your family, you don't have to do anything for them today. Today, you get to do what you want to do for you. You get to choose how you feel today. You're only going to do things that make you feel good. So let your mind imagine. Let it wander and let it wonder. And I will signal you with my voice when it's time to stop. Until then, dream your daydream. Where do you go? It's your day. What's your favorite thing to eat? And you don't have to prepare it, it's prepared for you. What's the weather like? What do you get to wear today? So as your day winds down, you think to yourself, wow, what a perfect day this was. As you start moving, wiggling your fingers and toes. You smile when you think about how you feel because it feels really good to you that you got to do what you wanted to do today. And as you move your shoulders and neck, take a nice deep breath, inhaling all the good energy from your day. And as you exhale, thinking of the ease and fun, you open your eyes. What an amazing day. So now it's time for us to look in. So I want you to grab your journal. Got my journal right here and a pen. And there are 3 questions that are essential to this look-in process. Now, keep in mind that you don't have to share with anyone what you write. Write open. Anything that you write is correct. There's no wrong answers to these. Write whatever comes to your mind. So these are the 3 questions. What do I need? What's in my way? And what needs to go? So we'll take 5 minutes at least, and we will write whatever comes to our mind when we think of these questions. The first one is, what do I need? What's in my way? Number 2, and what needs to go? And I'm going to keep our music going so that we have something to help us work with here. And I'll be right here if anyone wants to type in a question. There's our little chat box. Meeting controls. Sorry, close that. There we go. All right, there it is. What do I need? What's in my way? And what needs to go? What do we need? It's interesting what happens when we write, we free write. We don't restrict what flows from our head through our hand, through the pen to the paper. Things come out that you may not realize were in there. Don't hold back, just write whatever comes to your mind. Think about the different aspects of your life: work, home, your health, finances, your community, your church, your kids, your extended family. What do you need for you? And with all these things in mind, because they all play a part in our life. What do you need? more rest, new shoes, chocolate, quite possibly. What do you need? Space, love, self-forgiveness. This often turns into a very emotional process for me. I'm just very emotional. But it's good. It's a good process. Because if we don't acknowledge and pay attention to what we need, we lose us. We lose our health. We can't help anyone, our church, our school, our home, our family. So what do you need? What do I need? Now, we're going to move on to the next step. And the next part of this is called look up. And the thing about this process is where it can take you 5 minutes. If you're not finished writing, you can pause this and come back to it. If, life happens, we can't always take, 2 hours for ourselves to sit down and do it. I would strongly recommend an hour, though, for this entire process. You can pause it and stop and come back and keep writing. Keep journaling. Keep whatever is flowing and you feel inspired about, just write it down. So the look in process, now we are in the look up process. And this requires more writing. For me, it often does. But it can be taking a walk in nature. It can be taking time for yoga, meditation, whatever it is that you do, especially if you have a spiritual practice. So whether you do a devotion in the morning or the evening, whatever it is that connects you with your higher source, or connects you more with you, do that. And then be on the lookout. So you're looking up to discover your word. And the word discovery can come right away, or it can come later on. Walking outside in nature is something I love to do in the summer and winter, whenever. Sometimes just a walk outside is the best thing I could do for myself. And it's very clearing for my mind, helps me focus. And nature is one place I feel so connected with God, even more than being in church. Put me under a tree or on a sandy shore with some water, and I'm in bliss. I'm totally in bliss. I'm always in awe at the handiwork of God in nature. And for me, that is such a spiritual experience. So, but whatever your practice is, find time to do it, and then be open. Stay curious. And part of this process also contains some questions that I came up with that I will share with you after this workshop, that you can use during that looking up process for your word. See, the thing is, once you've done the inner work, the connecting, the journaling, answering those questions, what do I need, what's in my way, what needs to go, then you're more ready to receive the next step. You know, what exactly do I need then? What do I need to focus on? What do I need? So there are some questions that you can ask here. You can ask your source, your God, what do you want me to do? What do you want to do in me or through me? What type of person do I have to become to have what I want to have? What makes me smile? How can I be of service? What is my talent? And I love this last question. When I'm 90 years old, what would I be most proud of? When I look back on my life, what is going to matter to me at that point? Looking up for your word can come to you by inspiration, or your word can come to you by looking, like actually looking. So be open, be curious. Once my word got chosen by exploring meanings in the dictionary. Like I wrote out a bunch of, it probably was 8 or 9 words. I'm like, I don't know which one. And I went through and found the dictionary meaning of each. And then when I hit the one that was right, I was like, that's it. That is it. And once, which was really kind of cool, mine showed up while I was reading an article in a Toastmasters magazine on the Amtrak train at 12:30 in the night or something like that. And when I read, because I'd done my process before, and I was reading the article, and that word, 4 letters in that word just jumped out at me. And like I sat on the train and I cried, because I knew that was, like, just thinking about it's making me so emotional. But when that word came, I knew that was my word. I knew that's what I had to do. It was the hard thing that I had to do over the next year. And I knew it. And I chose it as my word. And that was actually last year. My word was open. And the things that happened in my life, the miraculous things that happened in my life last year are just amazing with that word. Anyway, so there are your questions. I will send the questions after the workshop so you have them. But as you look up, remember to take the time and space you need to find your word. Be open and be curious to receiving your word, and write down whatever comes to your heart. So the next part of this, excuse me, is look out. And I'm going to, this is the easy part, but this is the hard part. This is the part where, as they say, the rubber meets the road. So the first thing you're going to do, or need to do with this, is to keep your word in front of you, right? What I do to keep my word in front of my one word, I do it as a screensaver on my devices, my computer, my iPad, my phone. I write stuff on my mirrors all the time. So I have words written on my mirror. I'll put it on a sticky note and put it in the car. And you don't have to spend money. One year I bought a ring with my word on it. So, there's this these cool little things you can do. I'm just looking around to see if there's something that that I can pull off to show you where my word is, but there isn't. But again, I have it as a screensaver on my machine, on my iPad. It goes onto my vision board when I do one. Sometimes I just, again, write it down and stick it wherever, in the kitchen, on the refrigerator, on the cabinet door. The thing about it is you want to keep your word where you can see it, because we forget very easily as human beings, especially us doing life. Things fall out of our heads. So you want to keep your word where you can see it. What I have done actually, and it was so helpful, it was so therapeutic for me when I was going through, I had a rough patch, which we all have. But I took my word, I took a Sharpie, and I don't recommend that because Sharpies are not non-toxic, as they say. They are, but they're not, for that purpose. And I wrote it on my arm because I'm just a no tattoo person. But I took the Sharpie and I wrote the word on my arm, and it was so helpful just to have it there, like just to remind me as I went through that crazy couple days that, okay, you've got something to focus on and you're making you better. It was so helpful. I mean, if you are a tattoo person, that's cool, because I actually had a friend that did get her word tattooed on her. So if that's your thing, knock yourself out. So write down 3 ways, and you can write that down right now. 3 things that you will do to make sure you have a regular reminder of your one word. What do you like? Do you like posters? Do you create art? You can create a piece of art with your word on it. If you do want to spend some money and get yourself a treat, I'm sure you can find something on Etsy where someone would love to customize a piece for you. So that would be my recommendation. I don't know, good old Post-its and Sharpies. Oh, if you're writing on your mirror, please use a dry erase marker or makeup. That way you can clean it off when you need to. But write down 3 things in your journal that you will do to make sure you have regular reminders of your one word. So you guys can take a couple minutes and write that down. Where it's all beat up. Okay, 3 things that you will do to make sure you have regular reminders of your one word. So now that we've looked in and that you are going to look up and then look out, that's what this last part is called, looking out. So placing your word where you can see it, but it is also sharing your word. Now we all have a friend or supporter or someone we go to or coach. And I want to recommend here that one, you're welcome. I invite you to be part of our Enjoying Being group on Facebook. You can share your word there. It says this week, but if you don't come across your word this week, that's fine. You can share it when you get it. And also share with a supportive friend, counselor, mentor, coach, someone that you know they can hold you accountable throughout the year. Not every day, not a, hey, did you look at your word today? No, but someone that you can check in with, or that will check in with you throughout the year and see how you're doing with your word. And then share with someone else your choice. You can write whoever, a mom, a sister, a friend, your spouse, your partner, your business partner, whoever, your prayer partner. Write it, share with someone else. You want to share in 3 places. So that brings us to the end of my presentation. And what I want to do actually is just share with you what my process is going to look like over the next I would say 2 weeks because I know this week right here is a really scheduled week for me, full schedule. So, um, you know, sometimes in the midst of even just in our running around, we come across what we need for our word. So I want you to, well, my process is going to be continued journaling. I'm going to continue journaling. Journaling has become a part, just a part of, when I don't do it for a few days, I feel like I'm missing something. So I'm going to continue journaling about, you know, what I need, what needs to go, what's in my way. And then I'm going to be open. Now, again, with reading, with listening to personal development presenters, even just in a regular conversation, being observant. So stay open and curious. That's what I'm going to do. I will be looking for my word to show up to me. When my word does, I will share it in the Facebook group. I will absolutely do that. And I'll be looking for you guys to share your word in there as well. Now, I love questions. I love connecting. So please feel free to reach out to me on Facebook. You can, it's my personal Facebook profile. Absolutely, you can send me a friend request or follow or whatever you'd like to do. I love sharing the things that inspire me, so I share them on social media. And my website, enjoyingbeing.com, you can go there and book that free coaching session. Again, that's it. Thank you so much for allowing me to share this process with you guys. And I hope that you will complete it and join us in sharing it, and join me in growing us, so that we can help make our world just a little more happier place to live in. All right, guys, have a great time. Thanks for joining.